new pull request experience, GPUs on Azure Stack Edge, Inspire 2020 and more. This is the M&AN Show. Hello everyone, and welcome along to another episode of the M&AN Show. Thank you very much for joining me today. If last week was packed of news, this week is not like that. I think the whole ecosystem has slowed down because of the virus. There has been a lot of announcements, and if you're like me, I'm sure you've received a lot of emails from many different companies saying that they are dealing with the COVID-19 situation, and all the Microsoft ecosystem is doing the same. I hope that you and your families are safe and the country you're in is taking all the measures for preventing the spread of the virus. I really hope everything is good, and I wish you all to be safe. But let's start with the news. The first news is about Azure DevOps and the release of the new pull request experience. We are excited to announce that our new pull request web experience is now available in preview. Please try out the new experience, then let us know your feedback. You can try the new experience by turning on New Repos Pull Request Experience. If you've used Azure Repo in the past, you know that it's kind of a good tool, but especially for the pull requests and the social development, it was not great. Now with the new preview of the feature, it's much better, and the team released now a bunch of new features and a bunch of fixes that makes the new pull request experience a step ahead. First of all, is mobile friendly, and before it was not really, and it's like 3 times as fast as it was before. But apart from this improvement, there are a lot of new features being added. For example, the whole pull request creation is different. You can add more and more details to your pull request. You can add more required approvers, for example, and you can add a required approver per pull request. So far you could do it per branch or per iteration, but now you can do it per single pull request. And you can do it also for multiple iterations. Talking about the new pull request page, it's now more similar to the GitHub experience, even though we're not there yet. But I think it takes the best from the enterprise world Azure DevOps is basically designed for, and all the social coding experience from GitHub. What you can do, for example, is adding suggested changes to your code and some other features. And also, there's new optional policies for the auto-completion. If you're not aware of that, the pull request process in Azure DevOps allows you to basically auto-complete the pull request whenever the dependencies are fulfilled. Like, for example, if your pull request depends on some builds and some approval from some required approvers, as soon as those things are fulfilled, your PR can be automatically completed and merged into whatever branch is designed for. And so far you could do that only for the required policies, but now you can set a wait also for some optional policies. And this is useful because, for example, if you have a template for your pull request that has a bunch of policies in there, and then you want to add a specific optional policy just for that pull request, then now you can wait for that for the auto-completion. If you haven't tried it yet, go and enable it. This will be rolled out to all the Azure DevOps accounts in the next few weeks. You will have the link in the description below to check all the new features and all the new improvements. Let's go to the next news. Let's talk about Azure Stack Edge. Microsoft is expanding the Azure Stack Edge with NVIDIA T4 Tensor Core GPU. With the included NVIDIA GPUs, you can bring hardware acceleration to a diverse set of machine learning workloads. This, I think, it's pretty cool. If you're not aware of what Azure Stack Edge is, it's a small appliance that you can install in your data center and is designed for especially AI workloads or for some compute-intensive workload on-prem. But it's not like a normal server, and it's not an Azure stack per se. It's somewhere in between because it's still like on-prem appliance, but you manage it through Azure directly. So it's basically an always connected appliance managed by the cloud. And so far, that's been used in many scenarios for distributed computing, for edge computing, for AI, and now with the addition of the GPU, NVIDIA T4 GPUs, we can get that to the next level. We all know that AI and machine learning require a ton of computational power, and GPUs provide that. Maybe this is not for everyone. Not everyone has a need of that, and is more on the enterprise side or on the, again, edge computing side. But maybe you can go and take a look in the Azure portal and explore these. I think it's pretty cool, and these enable a lot of fast analytics on-prem, and especially in scenario where you cannot have the data shipped to the cloud for maybe data sensitivity or latency sensitivity and something like that. So go and check it out. Again, you'll find, as always, the link to the news in the description below. Next news is once again a conference, but this time is a little bit different because, again, it's a conference going virtual, but the timing is quite, I wouldn't say strange, but makes us think. And I'm talking about the Inspire 2020 conference. And in a blog post by Microsoft, they say the safety of our community is a top priority. In light of health safety recommendation from public health authorities, we will not be holding Microsoft Inspire 2020 as an in-person event. We are exploring alternative ways to bring our partner community together to connect and learn. Stay tuned for more details to come. Again, nothing strange in the news. We've seen this a lot of times already, even in this channel. If you don't know what Inspire is the conference for the partners. So basically, the whole lineup of conferences from Microsoft has been made virtual. If you remember the MVP Summit that we talked about last time, all the public conferences, Build, etc. And now even the partner conference. But as I said, this is a little bit different because, as I said, all the other conferences in terms of timeline were pretty near to us, maybe April, maybe May. But this is the first time that a conference that far in time has been canceled and made virtual, or probably made virtual. In fact, the Inspire 2020 was set to be in Las Vegas in July. And so this set a trend for probably the next few months, because already, as I said, we are in July and they're canceling that as well. So I'm afraid we will see more and more conferences again for the next months going virtual or being canceled. But again, stay tuned, and as soon as I will have more updates, I will deliver it to you. The last news of today is Azure related news, and it's about managed disk and snapshots. In fact, we are announcing general availability of incremental snapshots of managed disk. Incremental snapshots are a cost-effective point-in-time backup for managed disk. Unlike current snapshots, which are built for the full size, incremental snapshots are built for the delta changes to disks since the last snapshot and are always stored on the most cost-effective storage. Nothing too new or nothing too, exciting here, but I think sometimes there are these small things that makes Azure the great cloud platform it is. In this case, as the news say, we're talking about incremental snapshots. So if you don't know about snapshot, it's like a feature of Azure Managed Disk that allow you to capture the state of that disk in that particular moment and save it somewhere in a storage account. So far, until now, snapshots were already available, but every time you take a snapshot, it used to be a full snapshot, which means that if your disk is 100 gig and now you take a snapshot, that snapshot will be 100 gig. And if tomorrow you take another snapshot, also that snapshot will be again 100 gig. So you will end up paying for 200 gigs inside your storage account. And also the speed of taking the snapshot, it's bigger. But right now with the incremental snapshot, we have two or maybe 3 improvements. First of all is on billing. In fact, in the same example as before, if today I take a snapshot and maybe it's my first snapshot, will still be 100 gig, but then tomorrow I'll take another snapshot and maybe in the meantime only 5 gigabyte of data has changed. So my new snapshot will only be 5 gig. So I will not end up paying for 205 gigs, but I'm paying for 105, the 100 of yesterday and the 5 of today. Second is the speed, because of course when you take this snapshot, you take only 5 gig of snapshot and the speed of creating the snapshot is much higher. Now someone could argue, what happens if I delete the first snapshot? Because as all the incremental backups and snapshots, they are kind of related, right? The good thing here is that you will not lose a thing, in the sense that under the hood, the Azure platform will kind of merge the two, and even if you delete the first 100 gig, the second one will become again of about 100 gig, taking the 95 gig that were not changed in the previous one and merging it with the new 5 gig. And in that point, then of course you will start paying for 100 gig again. But again, this is fully automated. You will not lose anything, and even if you delete whatever number of snapshots, you will end up having at least one snapshot at the end that is fully usable and contains all your data until that point or from the point onwards. Again, you'll find a link at this in the description below. All right, that's it for today. As I mentioned before, today we had a kind of short episode, but I still think we have some interesting news. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And take care, everyone. I hope everyone is safe, and I wish you all to feel good and not being affected by the virus. Again, thank you very much for joining me today, and see you soon at Coder Dave.